Welcome, guys. So, in our series of MySQL, we are today talking about how to take up the backup from MySQL dump utility, which is provided by MySQL. When you install MySQL on your system, then you'll get some utilities already created by MySQL developers, so that you will use them and make your work easy. So one of them is MySQL dump. So how we take the backup from this? So there's a simple some steps you need to follow to take the backup of your files. Some parameters you need to remember, like in the first command, uh, inside the bin, you need to go to the bin location where the your MySQL bin is placed. You need to go to bin location and then run this, use this utility mysql dump. So it when you go to the bin location, you will see this utility is already there. This utility, mysql and mysqld, and also there are a few other utilities are already there. You can use them, and with the use of them you can do the work based on the utilities. So MySQL dump utility is require used to take the backups without logging into the database with your user. You can use root user password or any other user password here, but you do not need any uh, another tool or just some GUI tool for taking the backups. Or if these backups are also very much faster than your other usual backups, and there are so many options provided in this, so that you will take the backups based on your requirement. So here what we can do, we can use this utility mysql dump hyphen u hyphen root the user root user hyphen p, and then you can mention all databases to take the backup of all databases, and then the location of your file. That could be anything, your E drive, some other drive, D drive, F drive, anything. So this is the location of your backup file. This is the simplest way to take the backup of all the databases, including which includes everything, their structure, their data, their everything. And another option is take the backup of structure only. Like we have the uh, create table statement, their triggers, their indexes, all those things. So you can use this here. Like for this you just need to mention no data. If you want to take the structure only, then you need to mention no data here. Okay, all everything is same, but you are just mentioning no data here to take the backup of structure only. Okay, so if you want to ignore a table, you can do that as well. Everything should be same, mysql dump view root p, and then you need to use this parameter ignore table, and then is equal to, this is the database name and this is the table name. Okay, okay, um, so we can ignore a table with this. Okay, so we can take the backup of selective databases, like there are uh, 7 or 8 database schemas, and you want to take the backup of only 2 database schemas, like test1, test2, test3, anything. So this is the script for that. You can use this parameter hyphen databases, and then databases name, database 1, database 2, database 3, and so on, which whatever you like how many you can mention it here, as many you want. And then this is the parameter I used it, but you can, and you do not use it if you want to take the backup of all. So no data is for just taking the backup of structures, and hyphen databases, that is for taking the backup of selective databases. and ignore table you can use to mention the database name and then the table name. If you want to ignore one or two tables, you can mention it here. And this is all. And let's move further. So for structure only, I have already told you, like in this we can use no data, but this will not include triggers. So if you want to add triggers in that, you can use MySQL dump URP and then no data. This is for structure only, and then hyphen hyphen add drop trigger. This is for uh, adding and add and drop scripts for triggers as well. This will have this parameter. And then you have mentioned your DB name, the database name, and then the table name, table 1, table 2, table 3. Anyone you can mention in it here, or you can mention the table names as well if you want to take the table name, specific tables for the database. If you want to take the backup of all the tables, you can use all, uh, or just mention the databases and the database name. And if you want to mention the few table names, selective table names, so that you can mention the DB name and then table names. And like this structure only, we have data only as well. So what is that? MySQL dump URP no create info. This will this parameter will include uh, the data only. It will not include the create info, like creating of the table indexes. And this parameter skip triggers. This is the opposite of this add drop triggers. This parameter will skip the triggers. Okay, so if you want to take the backup data only, you can use no create info script triggers and then the DB name and the table names. So these are the two files. This file may be your structure files, and this is your data files. You can use these based on your requirement, the parameters. uh, Main thing is the parameters you can use. And hot backup using MySQL dump. We can use MySQL dump to take the hot backup as well. All these are cold backups, like these are just lock the table, but we can take the hot backup with MySQL dump as well. Like we can call it a hot backup because it do not lock the table or interfere with ongoing transactions. So we call it as hot backup, and it also allows you to create a consistent backup for the table, for the database. Okay, so what you need to do here, the all everything is same. You can use anything you want, skip triggers, add triggers, or no create info, no data. So anything you can use, but this parameter you can use to create a hot backup. Like it do not interfere with other scripts ongoing transactions. So what you need to do here, you can use this parameter single transaction, and this will take hot backup of this. Okay, so let's move to the lab and I'll show you how to take the backup. Okay, so I'm in the MySQL bin directory. Here you see all the MySQL dump, this utility, MySQL pump utility, MySQL show utility, and MySQL D utility. These are the all executable files. MySQL admin utility, MySQL bin log, MySQL check, and there is also mysql.exe. So there is all your exe files. You can use them to mm, mm, work on them, and or these are just for your ease to make your database work. Okay, so how we take the backup, let me show you. Okay, so we can use this, like I'm just taking the backup of no data add drop triggers DB name. So let's see what we have in here in our database. So let me log in. or let me use the cmd, and then mysql. I'm using this utility, mysql utility, first just to log into the database. Hyphen u root hyphen p, and then p. Okay, so I'm inside the database. Use test. uh, okay, so I have temp. I forgot I have test. Okay, so show tables. How many tables we have in here? Disable task id, doc id, new employee, employee 2, medical claims archive. So these are the tables we can have in here. Okay, so we want to take the backup. So what we can do, employee and employee 2, we can use them just for our okay, so db name is what we have, temp. Okay, so you can use temp here, temp, and then employee and employee 2. Let's see, employee and employee 2. Okay, so I have MySQL. We are using MySQL dump utility. You would be no data. This is the structure only we are taking. Add drop triggers, the database name, the table names, and this is the location. Let's see if we have this location. E backup 2023, and then the the file name. Okay, so employee structure only. Okay, so this is our file name. So let's see if we can use it. This is our, this is just our connection, so we are not using it. Just open a new cmd here. Oh, what I have opened, maybe something else. Okay, cmd, we are in this bin location. You can just use open cmd anywhere and go to, and then you use this path or move to this path, and then you can use it. So mysql dump, you would be no data, add drop triggers, temp. This is your database. These are the table names. There's, you need to mention database only once, and then the all the table names you can mention. Okay, so let's see. It's done. Let's see. Employee table structure only. Let's open in the notepad file. This will show it better. So these are the things you can see when you take using backup using MySQL dump. All, it will show you all the things. Some parameters are okay. So stable structure of employee table. Okay, so drop table if exists, it all the time you take the backup using this, it will first add drop statement and then create statement for the table, so that if you want to use this backup to create your table database again, so it first drops the table and then creates it based on these the scripts in this. Okay, so create table, all the values in the create table, and then table structure for employee table. You see, we have only structure of the table only. We do not have data for this table. So how we get the data? Let's see. To get the data, we can have, we are using the same table so that you will be more precise about the output of these. Okay, so temp, employee, employee 2. These are the two tables, and we'll name it as employee, employee data only. Okay, all these are same. We were using no data earlier, now we are using no create info, so that we'll have all the data. And we can have skip triggers, so that as that we have already had triggers in here, so we are not using triggers in this. We do not have triggers based on these our these tables, so we have not them in our backup files. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so password for your root user. If you forgot to use the password for root, if you forgot the root user password, you can watch my earlier video, and I'll paste something in the description or in the I button up somewhere, so you'll be able to reset the password of your root user if you are forgetting it. Okay, so our backup is completed. Now let's see what we have in the backup file. This is data only. Okay, so let's open it. Okay, all these are same. It will show you everything, the version of your MySQL using, the database you are using, and dumping data for table employee. Okay, so you see we have log tables here. If you have used single transaction, you will not see it here. Okay, so insert into employees, uh, all the values for this table. Okay, and then unlock tables, and then for employee 2 all the values. Okay, so this is how you can take the backup based on your requirement. If you do not mention this, or if you want to take like let me show you what was our. Okay, so this was our. So let's see if we can take the backup of everything. We are just mentioning database here and no data, which means it will have the structure only. Okay, like this, no data, so structure only. We can add this as well, but we don't have tables triggers on them, so that's fine. We can use it based on our requirement. So let's see, let's use this. Well, let me change the file name. That should be all tables. Okay, so let's see, let me use single transaction here as well. Okay, so let's see here, here. Okay, so it's done. Let's see what we have named that. All tables. Okay, so this will all tables. Okay, this is just right now. Oh, not in here. Not should be in notepad plus plus. That will be easy. So database is temp. See, drop table if exist. Create table, drop table, create table, drop table. You do not see lock tables here as we have in here. Lock tables. We do not have lock tables here as we have used. Uh, what we have used? We have used the single transaction, which is used for hot backups. Okay, so if you are using single transaction, you'll be able to uh, take the hot backup for the database with MySQL dump utility, and we are not affecting any other process of the user, any other users. So this is very much important, very most useful task for MySQL dump utility. You can use any of the parameter, ignore table, no data, skip triggers, add drop triggers, and single transaction mode is for taking the hot backup. Okay, so this is all about MySQL dump utility. You can use it and get your data backed up anytime you want. You can schedule them as well. So that's all about MySQL dump utility. I'll be seeing you in my next video. uh, Thank you. Bye bye. Yep.